There's a tool I want to give you tonight that if you use it, will give you more than enough time each day and week to move the needle in your favor. What's up, guys? Coach Carissa here. Welcome to our channel. This channel is all about helping real women lose real weight by uncovering the fact that your breakthrough really only lies at the intersection of the actions you take and the beliefs that you hold, which is just our fancy way of saying that you can't only concern yourself with the physical actions you're trying to take, like how you're eating, how you're moving, things like that, but you also need to get a grip on what's going on with you internally so you can stop self-sabotaging, stop falling back to your old habits, and stop having to start over and over and over again. So enjoy this week's lesson and subscribe for more. Who here wishes they had more hours in the day? I got 2 hands for Terry. All right, so if you've ever felt like when it comes to your health goals, you're constantly running out of time, can't fit the things you need to fit into your schedule, I have a solution for you. And making time is not the answer. There's a tool I want to give you tonight that if you use it, will give you more than enough time each day and week to move the needle in your favor. I talk to a lot of women each week in the community and on the internet. And at some point in the discussion, when I talk to people about their goals, I usually ask what they feel their main constraint is when they're inconsistent with anything, like their exercise or their food, their meal prep, whatever it is they're trying to fit into their life. And right now, across the board, for whatever reason, I'm getting responses like, I don't have enough time, can't find the time, need to make time. Maybe school's out, right? But it's just kind of across the board right now. So I know this lesson is for someone. So let's resolve this tonight for real. I want to start by telling you a story. So once upon a time, when I was training people in person for exercise in a gym, one of my clients kept canceling on me last minute. Something would come up. She would realize she maybe overbooked herself or just lost track of time or just got too busy, you name it. The truth is she was pretty healthy. She didn't have any, life-threatening reason to exercise, but she had a few goals, one of which was losing 20 pounds and another was wanting to feel comfortable in her bathing suit for a trip she had planned that coming summer. So I had her on a 3-time-per-week exercise program. And on average, she would make it in only once or twice. So after a few months of this, all of a sudden I noticed she started making all 3 sessions like clockwork. And then she out of the blue asked for a 4th day and eventually a 5th day. I worked her into my schedule and she was all of a sudden coming in 5 days per week with no issue. And she never canceled on me again unless she was sick or out of town. And not only that, how she acted in the session was way different. She was so much more engaged that she ended up being one of my greatest transformation stories to date. And I loved working with her. So what happened? After a few weeks of this, right, I was real curious. So I had to ask her what changed because it was such a stark difference in attitude and behavior. And what she told me, I'll never forget. She said she found out that she had something called lean diabetes, which is a term used for individuals who are metabolically obese but appear at normal weight. And the reason this was powerful for her and freaked her out was because someone very important to her and her family had passed away from diabetes, and she didn't want that to happen to her or be that example for her kids. So she completely transformed her diet and her exercise and was able to reverse her prognosis without medication. But the pull away for tonight, the takeaway, is she went from someone who genuinely didn't have time to exercise consistently, let alone change her dietary habits, to someone who could exercise 5 days per week and heal her body through nutrition. So what changed? What mattered to her is what changed. Nothing about her schedule, nothing about her routine. She decided she wanted to live a longer life than the one she was going to live if she changed nothing. She wanted to set a new course for her family. She wanted to set a new example for her kids. And when what mattered to her changed, she discovered the tool I'm going to give you right now. So first, let's stop shying away from the fact that we're not going to live forever here on this earth. We have a finite amount of hours, and that's not meant to scare you. It's meant to motivate you. Some of the most motivated and driven people who get the most done with the same amount of hours as you and I are the people who are very aware of this fact. They bring a lot of value to time, and they use a tool most don't. And that tool is intention. Intention is defined as a purpose or plan, a purpose that you plan to bring about. Someone wise taught me that using intention is only giving attention to the things that move the needle in your favor or in the favor of those you were born to serve. And here's where it gets hard to swallow. Anything that's not doing that is a distraction. And this is the harder pill to swallow. Do you know the common denominator among successful people? They hyper-focus and obsess over intention and ignore distraction. And the common denominator among the unsuccessful is the opposite. They hyper-focus on distraction and ignore intention. And what this means is most people give very little attention to the things that move the needle. And most people spend most of their lives focusing on things that don't matter at all, until those things are gone and they might experience regret. Okay, I want to acknowledge this message is not for everyone, but for those of you who truly want to feel like you have plenty of time to do what matters most, and for those of you who want to absolutely demolish their goals, this is the way. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. I used to feel like I didn't have enough time and that it was fleeting. But I do not feel like that anymore. And I have more on my plate now than ever. And it's because of this lesson. My client didn't magically get more hours in her day. She simply got crystal clear on what mattered to her and then laser focused her intentions on that and only that. And in doing so, she leveraged the hours she already had differently and discovered she had plenty of time to accomplish what mattered most. So leverage means to use or invest something, in this case intention, to its maximum advantage, expecting the profits made to be greater than the amount invested. So to leverage your intentions is technically the only way to get more out of each minute, which adds up to years. You can't actually create more seconds, but if you're using intentions to get more out of each second, are you not in a way getting more time? This is the hard truth, and we'll wrap this up here. Like it or not, every single moment of your life, there is something that you can control. And this is true whether you acknowledge it or not. You're not conserving energy by ignoring this truth. You're just not using your time as efficiently as you could. And that, in my opinion, is exhausting long term, right? Imagine someone running a mile on a treadmill. And imagine someone running a mile down the sidewalk. Who's more tired? It's not a trick question, right? They're both equally as tired. But guess what? Only one person is going somewhere and moving the needle. So ask yourself all the time, does this activity I'm about to engage in actively move the needle in my favor or those I was born to serve? Yes or no? If it does, do it with all your might. Give it everything you have. Make it a top priority, a non-negotiable, and execute that with excellence. How you do things matters. And if it doesn't, if that thing you're about to do does not move the needle, it's by definition a distraction. Ignore it. And being productive includes both moments of rest and stillness as well as moments where you physically accomplish tasks. It's not about effort, drops of sweat, right? It's about being intentional. Thank you so much for watching. We truly hope you enjoyed that lesson. So every single week we make room for one guest spot on these support calls. So if you'd like the opportunity to attend, ask questions, receive coaching, just hit the link in the description box, or you can head over to gainslinger.com/coach me. Once again, that's Gainslinger, GAINSLINGER.com/coach me, all one word. Have a blessed day and we'll see you next week.